Hey guys, what's up? It's Adam here, aka Cine Guy. Today's movie review is on a film that is slightly different from the reviews that I'm usually doing. Uh, I heard a lot of things about this movie, some good, some bad, but I was intrigued to find out for myself because it's a film by George A. Romero. I like to remember George A. Romero for creating very unique films, mainly zombie movies. But people are talking about this movie a lot as well. And I finally came across this movie on a shelf and decided to buy it because I was, well, mainly intrigued. Not just only because I wanted to see this movie for myself based on the reviews that I read, but mainly because I was so intrigued by the front cover of this movie. And one thing about what's so intriguing is the fact that I don't usually buy movies on Blu-ray unless I've seen them on VHS or DVD first or online. But I bought this movie straight out on Blu-ray and I've got no regrets. It's this Blu-ray right here, Monkey Shines. Okay, Monkey Shines. Like I said, I've already mentioned it's a film by George A. Romero, which came in the year of 1988. So, what made me get this movie, other than the reviews? Take a look at the front cover. It's a monkey with a sadistic face holding a cutthroat knife with a little bit of blood on. Very simple cover, but yet very catchy at the same time. It's a 1988 movie, so that also captured my attention because I love 80s movies. And look at the poem on it. It's not your average phrases. It's more of like a little bit of a poem. Once there was a man whose prison was a chair. The man had a monkey that made the strongest pair. The monkey ruled the man. It climbed inside his head. And now as fate would have it, one of them is dead. So, not one of your typical films like, I can't believe I'm bringing this up, Jaws 4: The Revenge. This time, it's personal. It's not one of your typical. It's not one of your typical one-liners. Put it that way. But yeah, the front cover captured my attention right away. And based on some of the reviews I found about Monkey Shines, I just wanted to see this movie for myself because I'm already a fan of, George A. Romero's work. This movie, it got a mixed response from critics, but it failed at the box office, unfortunately. And it was only given 2.5 stars out of 4. A lot of people complained about this movie, stating it was very, long, like as if it dragged on. Now, I don't think you should dislike a movie because of that particular reason. The fact that a movie is like slow paced or very long. Look at all these long films that we have that like on 3 hours, like the Titanic or my favourite movie of all time, The Green Mile. This movie, how long is this movie on for? 113 minutes. And people complain about that, so this movie was too long, the scenes dragged. Well, some people like movies like that. Some people, we're all talking about tastes again and matters of opinion. That's what all this is about. It's all about matters of opinion. Some people would argue say that the Titanic is boring because it was too long and it was too mushy with all the romance and all that shit. Some people would argue that The Green Mile's too long due to its constant scenes of, scenes of uninteresting backgrounds of some of the characters. Well, I think some of them background stories are important to the characters, so you know more about them. It adds emotion and all that shit. Well, Monkey Shines is one of them type of movies that has long scenes, 113 minutes of them. Right off the bat, I've seen this movie twice. And I still feel the same way about the movie the second time like I did the first time. I am not a die-hard Monkey Shines fan. I admit that. I wanted to see the movie for myself, and indeed I did. I'm not the biggest die-hard Monkey Shines fan. But I'm also not I'm not a hater of this movie. I like this movie up to the point where I let it come out collection as a Blu-ray in the house. I mean, it was interesting. Let's talk about what the movie's about. The movie's about this guy who's an athlete. Um, he's into sports. He likes to look after himself. Not an ounce of fat anywhere on his body. Keeps himself very fit. Likes to jog. I don't know. Use weights. Whatever. Any of that stuff. We see a scene of him at the start of the movie exercising, doing his normal day hobbies, keeping healthy, keeping fit, and all that stuff. Tragically, he has an accident. A car hits him. As a result of the accident, he's now paralysed. So not only has he lost hope with himself, he's also lost the use of his legs, his spine, and now he can't perform the things that he loves to do, like being an athlete, go running, and his hands don't work, his legs don't work, his back doesn't work. He's literally stuck in a wheelchair. And a lot of people complain about this guy's character a lot. This is another thing that people complain about this movie. Alan Mann, who's played by Jason Beer, I think that's pronounced right. Alan Mann. People complain about his movie, saying he was a bit of an arsehole to everybody. But put it this way: if you was in his position, you lost everything due to an accident that wasn't your fault, would you be a bit of an arsehole to people? Not on purpose, but at the same time, you would feel frustration on a day-to-day basis if you couldn't use your hands and legs anymore. Half one would hate to be in that position. If you was in a position where you didn't have the ability to do the things that you love to do, As a result, his girlfriend left him and was having an affair with his doctor, who wasn't doing the right things in the first place to try and figure out what the solution was to his condition. He comes home to see all these people who are greeting him in the house. They're offering nothing but support, but he doesn't want any of it. He sees it as like a taking the piss sort of thing, and he just feels even more depressed than ever. There's even scenes throughout the movie where he falls really depressed and tries to commit suicide because of the condition that he's in. But a lot of time he's looked after by his own mother. Anyway, he has a friend called Jeffrey, and Jeffrey decides to give his friend the best gift he can ever have, and that's a pet monkey. And he has trained this monkey to help him do certain things in the house, so he wouldn't have to struggle alone. Whether that's brushing his teeth, or answering the phone, or just doing certain things around the house that can help people do that. And what's so unique about this is that people do those things in real life. They use monkeys and animals to help them do certain things in life. That's how they become best friends with the animals, because they assist them when they're in conditions like being in a wheelchair, or being crippled, or having some sort of disability, and they get animals to assist them, including monkeys. And that's what he's hoping this monkey to do. But he's not an ordinary monkey. He's a monkey from Jeffrey's lab, and he's been injecting him with like human tissue. And that later on affects the monkey and his friend who's in the wheelchair. But again, the monkey and the guy in the wheelchair, they have a connection, like a bond. There's a scene where the monkey's hugging him and they're becoming close friends, like a little bit of a love thing. Of course, if I had a pet monkey, I'd feel nothing but love for it because I'm a big animal lover. Although I don't need assistance from a monkey, I'd love to have one as a pet, despite them always fucking trashing the place. So it's a monkey from a lab, and it's been injected with human tissue. This human tissue allows them to connect in certain ways in the mind, because later on in the film, it seems like they can read each other's minds. There's a scene where the guy in the wheelchair is feeling hate towards certain people. The monkey can sense it too. We've all had arguments with people, but we don't wish death upon them. But death crosses his mind to this one particular person, and the house ends up being burnt down, and it was the monkey that did it. So the monkey becomes protective in some ways, but on the other way, he feels the emotional state of his owner, and feels like it's his job to express the anger, basically. I mean, one thing that's different about this movie, it's not a gory movie. It's not a slasher movie. it's difficult to try and explain what sort of movie this is. Because you have its moments, like I say, it's slow pace, you have its scenes. The scenes do drag, I admit that. Sometimes they drag for too much for other people's tastes. But on the other hand, it was interesting to see what was going on. I was interested in the characters in this movie. And plus, since I'm a big animal lover, I was interested in the monkey side of things as well. But now things have got out of control with the mind games. Things get out of control. The guy in the wheelchair ends up falling in love with this woman who trains monkeys. You know, there's a scene where he does start to become desperate. He starts saying bad things to his mother, who's trying to look after him, like bathe him and all that kind of stuff. But he's also trying to get her to leave for her own safety. And, you know, the guy in the wheelchair feels like it's now his job to try and put a stop to all this madness, you know, before the monkey does any more further damage. So, you do get your scenes of people getting killed, but again, it's not gory or anything majorly bloody. The monkey does meet its demise at the end of the movie, but I'm not going to give away the endings for those of you who are intrigued by this movie and want to see it for yourselves. But it's still rated 18 for its violence. And there is I won't say a strong sex scene, but a sex scene that some people may get offended with, or too young for young guys to see. But there you have it. It's just a love scene. That's all it is. It's just with the guy in the wheelchair and this woman that he fell in love with. That's all it is. But George A. Romero, I think, did a great job of this movie. Slow pace, but that didn't bother me one little bit. It did feel like a long movie. I admit that, 113 minutes, but that could be good or bad. It can be bad because some people might find it boring, but at the same time, some people might find it a good thing, because I did say those type of movies with slow pace is a big part factor of the movie. Parts of it to know backgrounds about the characters, where they go deeper into the storyline, you know. It seems like they're working on something that's important to the movie, if you get what I mean. So, I mean, it's a shame that it got some fucking box office failure. You got got mixed response from critics, but failed at the box office, which was a bit of a shame, because it's not a terrible movie. It's slow, I admit, but it's not an awful movie. There's loads of movies out there that did great, which I would consider fucking box office failures. I don't know if that's just me or down to opinion again, but there you go. But like, according to what I'm doing my research here, he said it was being overlong with too many subplots, saying that Romero loses momentum in closing passages because he has too many loose ends to keep track of. Somewhere within this movie's 2 hours or so, he did an absolutely spellingly 90-minute thriller. It tells a 53% approval on rating on Rotten Tomatoes based on 32 critic reviews, and a score of 71 on Metacritic based on 14 reviews. I mean, it's eye-catching. It caught my eye. Just the fact that it was made in the 80s. I mean, its official release date was July 29th of 1988. But 113 minutes, that's quite long for a movie. Budget $7 million and made $5.3 million at the box office. Cast-wise, Jason Bay as Alan Mann. Jeffrey was played by John Pankow. And of course, Melanie Parker, who played Kate. And there's several other actors which I'm not so familiar with, but many people would remember him in other movies. It stars Tom Quinn and Stephen Root, Stanley Tucci, Janine Turner, William Newman, who played the Doctor, of course, the Doctor who was supposed to help Jason Bay's character get full recovery, but turned out being a bit of an arsehole, having an affair with his girlfriend. I mean, it didn't have a sad ending. I mean, for those of people that are bothered about Jason Bay's character so much, I mean, the fact is, at the end of the movie, he does have the ability to walk again. So The character does have a good ending. At least he wasn't stuck in the wheelchair for the rest of his life. There was a good ending about this movie, so that's one positive factor. Blu-ray wise, as you can see, this is like a fresh cover, like a fresh Blu-ray, hardly a scratch on it or any bits of marking or cosmetic wear. So, yeah, it's not one of those movies I'll see over and over again. But I will admit, I think George A. Romero did a great job with this movie. I'd rather watch this than any of his zombie movies, but not putting any of his zombie movies down, because I'm a big horror fanatic and I love zombie movies. But overall, a satisfying movie. I love it up to the point where I'd own it on Blu-ray and keep it as part of my collection. Might be another movie I might see again on a rainy day, but who knows? I want to hear your thoughts. Did you think it was overbearing? Did you think it was too long? I'd love to hear your reviews and your opinions on this movie. Please leave them all in comment sections below, and hopefully we can get a conversation going about how we generally feel about this movie. I've shared my thoughts in this review, so hopefully I'll get some feedback off you people to see what you generally think about Monkey Shines. Thanks a lot, people. Have a nice day. Take care.